J'attends. Ouais, ok. J'attends que la marée noire monte, que les pluies soient assises, que le
Welcome to Tannic Grips.
Today on Tannic Grips, we are going to focus on the incredible grape. Which, what does that grape mean to you?
To me, it means Malbec.
That's right. You didn't think C-O with a circumflex and T, otherwise known as co, not cot. But, oh yeah, I mean, you can pronounce it cot.
I'll know what you're talking about.
You will. Co is actually Malbec, which hails from southwestern France, not Argentina, which I think a lot of people think that, don't you think so?
I think a lot of people know Argentina, from Malbecs and Malbecs for Argentina.
I was going to start singing some Evita, but I won't. I'm obsessed with Madonna. It doesn't matter. So Cahors is the region that it hails from, but we're not going to talk about Cahors. Why?
If you want French Malbec, that's where you go. So we thought we'd shake it up.
Yeah, it sells itself. So does Argentine Malbec. So we wanted to talk about a region that is very near and dear to both Britt and I's hearts, the Loire Valley, which has a boatload. I was going to swear, but I won't. My nieces might be watching this that are like 6 and 11 or whatever age they
you
are.
Should talk to their parents either way.
It's true.
They're watching a really goofy wine podcast video thing.
It's true. We're going to talk about a region called the Loire Valley that, especially in the central, the heart of the Loire Valley, there's a ton of coal, as they call it, or, I was going to go into a different synonym, but I won't do that. Malbec has grown very prevalently in this area. The first mention of coal was actually back in like the 1760s, but it became known as Malbec when it was planted a few decades later in Bordeaux. And from there, there was a lot of trading, a lot of shipping, a lot of negative things we won't talk about between the western part of France and the New World, which is how Malbec gets to South America. Why are we even talking about this? We're going to talk about the Loire Valley.
Yes. Malbec's very, very interesting. As Jill was saying, a big start in Bordeaux, but it is one of like the noble grapes. So it's been around. It's like, so for the people that only like old grapes, like it's been here. It's been hanging out.
It has, and it was from the time that it was first mentioned in the 1700s, mid 1700s. It took over 100 years for it to actually get to Argentina. So let's talk about the Loire Valley. Let's talk about this producer, Julien Pinot. Julien Pinot is a producer that got his start in about the earlier part of this decade, mid part of this decade. His first vintage was 2015, and he was staging in with these amazing growers from Clos Roche Blanche, which they're no longer extant. But they started to allow Julien Pinot to not only stage with them, but use some of their land. And now he's kicking it, doing his own thing, making great juice.
He is. And he's very much, I think, like, Loire is, like, really well known for being, like, kind of the hotspot for a lot of natural wine. It's kind of a lot of little natural wine darlings out there. And this definitely speaks to that as well. And kind of bringing back the old varietals tradition, too, is really fun.
I'm stroking his darling.
It is. It's a little darling.
It's called coupe de jus, which means shot of juice. And man, is this a shot of juice to Tannic Grips.
To Tannic Grips.
I have in my notes, barnyard. Very tannic, but kind of light on its feet at the same time. I have Hobies in my notes. Why? Because I used to call horses Hobies. My uncle used to call them Hobies.
That's kind of
Julien Pinot.
So I have Hobies in my notes, native to much of the world.
Julien Pinot actually plows all of his vineyards that he tends with horses, and which Hobies. My reference. He's only doing a brief 2-week maceration, all organic and biodynamic fruit. He's using those principles and no sulfur added. It's like the purest Malbec / Co.
Yeah.
Almost on planet Earth, but we'll just say for now, Loire Valley.
Yeah. Here in this room. It's
at this
also,
table.
yeah, it's super cool what he's doing in the vineyards. He's also, like, in addition to, you know, plowing the vineyards, like, using horses and keeping any use of machines kind of out, if at all possible. And he's also he's planted a ton of different vegetables as well as different, like, fruit trees and stuff, kind of to diversify the ecosystem. And we talk a lot about, like, a sense of place and terroir. I think that he's really, like, one of those winemakers that really champions that, and being like, diversifying an ecosystem is just better. It's just like diverse communities, and diverse ecosystems. Like, we gain a benefit from all of that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. When he's making this, he does it in equal parts fiberglass and old oak, so it retains freshness and fruitiness, but it also allows it to breathe a little bit. Coke can be reductive, which can mean it kind of, you know, when you have a bad day and you just go hide in a room, that's good, but it's not good for too long.
I like that.
You need
reductive.
You need some oxygen, and so it likes to breathe a little bit. And it's a really beautiful, really fun. I mean, for like just shy of $30, this is like awesome natural wine from the Loire Valley, par excellence co. Those of you who love Argentine Malbec, and those of you who have had Malbec from the Cahors, you should definitely try some Julien Pinot.
And to kind of echo the light on its feet, that's something I think, like, often, like, as, like, referred to as, like, the black grape, and it is very dark in color, but it is, as Jill said, like, light on its feet. It's fun with, like, unexpected food, and so I had, like, a pretty, like, funky natural, not this particular wine, but like with goat cheese though, and it is really strange, and it's really expressive, and it works with, like, the tanginess and the richness of the goat cheese, like, and you don't usually think of red wine cheese, and it's fun. Yeah. So I think, and it goes well again with, like, kind of heavy herby dishes or grilled vegetables as well. So
sounds delicious. You're making me hungry at this late hour. What would you say for a Tannic Grip on this one?
Put it 3.54 maybe.
Ooh, we're getting up there. I like it. We've had a lot of, like, 1.7s and stuff, so I like that we're getting up there. It is pretty tannic. It is
a little grip,
and it does have some Tannic Grip. I didn't mention we're in the area of Touraine, which is, like, literally smack dab in the center of the Loire Valley, northwestern France. And both of these wines hail from Touraine. This actually, we wanted to showcase a winemaker who's doing Col, or Malbec, but doing it with a lot of, I don't know why I'm putting the cork on that, because we're probably going to have more later, but whatever. This is done with some Cabernet Sauvignon and a little bit of Pinot de Nuit, if I'm not, oh no, it's Cabernet Franc, I believe.
In different vintages, he's done the Pinot.
Okay, yeah. So he's like, sometimes he's doing Col with Cabernet Franc, sometimes Sauvignon, but then a little bit of Pinot de Nuit, which is a really light grape, and just a really different profile. Francois Chadin has been making wine since, like, 1989, and it's, like, literally, he's doing a lot of the same practices, organic, biodynamic. What's really interesting is he's doing no tilling between the vines, so he doesn't have hobies. They're just letting natural native cover crops grow. And he thinks that they will create their own ecosystem. So he doesn't want to use the hobies. So it's interesting that they're both doing similar practices in terms of organic, biodynamic, native fermentation, low to no sulfur usage, but then no hobies.
No hobies. Round two. Again, kind of echoing that same sentiment about kind of prioritizing, like, the surrounding ecosystem. I think that's kind of the through line for both of them. Yeah. And again, light on its feet. I'd say a softer Tannic Grip on this one for myself.
I would definitely agree with that.
Go 2.5, you know, 2.6. I don't know. Like, you know how I feel about my tents.
Yeah, I like that. And I think we're actually being a little generous because we were just tasting rosés, so you'll see the shift as you get to know us better. But I agree. We're like definitely at a 3.5, and this is like a 2.5.
Again, out of 7.
Yes, right in the middle. 2.7. Yeah. Nice. This is cleaner. Definitely a cleaner style of Co. Not just because of the added grape rattle. Sorry, I'm taking a sip. When I cheers in Spain, you have to take a sip, so I'm just going to do that. But it's like a cleaner rendition of these grapes together, which is really pretty. It's like, and not to say that this isn't clean. This is rough and tumble, natural wine, a little bit more esoterica. kind of more traditional Co. And this is Co with some. It's gone shoe shopping.
I like that. But yeah, it's a little bit more like velvety. It's like that one's barefoot, that one's wearing shoes. Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
But they're both
Barefoot.
really fun. Like they're two very different. Like one like a more rustic expression and a more like just a slightly more elegant expression. And I think there's a place for both of them at the table. And
It's true. We brought this little number. It doesn't have Co in it, but we just really are into the Loire Valley lately, and so we just were like, why not? Why don't we talk about Nathalie Gaubischer Heredia? We have her Du Temp, which is a wine that actually we just mentioned, a little Pinot de Alumi, which the lighter grape that adds a little like spice to this mix. We have this. We only have a case of it, but we just wanted. I don't know.
It's really fun.
We're two, and so we were like, let's have food.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the Loire is doing some really fun stuff with like kind of grapes that aren't as prevalent as they once were. So it's kind of fun to see these little suspects come back into the trade, as it were.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's suspects coming into my trade.
Cheers.
The Tannic Grips.
The Tannic Grips.
I like that you turn off and you look at it and you're like, cheers. That's good. I don't even think we need another chicken.
J'attends.